So the Don Lemon situation, how do you because Elon, he's pretty much told him like I don't need to
Did you watch it?
to do this with you?
Watch it?
I watched it.
Yeah. I watched
I'm gonna be honest. I like when Elon gets like I like anybody who speaks that freely and is not politically correct. Shout to Alex Cart and all the short sellers on cocaine, right? But it's true he didn't need to sit down and do the interview, but Elon looks stressed. And we all as business owners and CEOs, like we know when things are a little bit tougher in the business and you're like, I gotta do this damn interview and I got to call these people about even getting my money delivered. Like, who knows what crisis he's going through? But it was the first time that he was not calm. Normally, he's very gracious in the interview.
Mm.
I can tell he's bothered about some things that's going on politically. I mean, he has the fight with OpenAI, trying to keep Tesla afloat, SpaceX, Neuralink. It's a lot going on. And he's starting to be vilified a lot more. Like, he openly admitted to using ketamine to Bloomberg. We've never had a CEO say this.
What you kind of alluded to it earlier, and when I watched parts of it, I haven't watched in its entirety. The temperament was the first thing I looked at. The question from Don Lemon was just like, okay, even when he was trying to pry from a political angle, you met with Trump. What did you say to him? Did he ask you something? Are you supporting him? It was just kind of like, okay, you could kind of see he was pricking at him. What did you see that made you think there's some cracks in business?
If they had opened up a new plant, let's say in Shanghai, and the money got wired from CCP, I think he would have been a lot more joyous in that interview. There's certain tells, like when I'm watching, I'm looking for the performative part and body language first, and then content second, right? I can tell he was bothered about some things that had more to do with the question. Don can be abrasive at times, I get that, but it felt like he was jarred. Like same thing, like when a player misses 15 shots, he's a little bit more aggy than if you hit the Kyrie game winner with the left hand over Jokic, right? You're happy to do the interview. You can tell a series of events is not going well. I mean, the acquisition of Twitter, stock is falling apart on Tesla, hedge funds are falling out of love with him. So now he's going into like his villain arc. I've dealt with that. I'm like, damn, I didn't see the villain part coming. And now he's kind of leaning into it, but that's usually happens when things are not going as well. Like Michael Jordan, eyes were yellow as hell when the Hornets were losing. Mike looks happy as hell now that he sold out of that position. So I just see that he isn't as calm as he used to be, or even in some of the interviews where he was a little bit more punchy, there was still some intellectual quips in there where you got some advice that was like life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't there with Don. A lot more pressure is on him today.
So Don was going to be for X, the platform, from the video standpoint. Obviously, he had the situation with CNN and he was fired from there, was going to be at X. This interview doesn't work out, but it was interesting. He went back when everything had hit the fan and the news broke out. He was back on CNN talking about it.
Well played, CNN. They need the views. But Elon did the math hoffa and said, you're fired. Go home. It'll be your last one. They say hire slow and fire fast. Math got the fire fast part down. Oh, come on.
It's also a thing of I mean, when you don't have ownership, you got no choice but to go back to the work. If you're a worker, you're a worker in life. So when Don Lemon, shout out to Don, but I don't necessarily know if he wants to have a platform and go back to CNN, but where else is he gonna go?
Yeah, and I've learned too, like through watching you guys, I had a conversation with Teray. He's like, even if you do want the spicy take, lead with loving questions and easy questions first. Then maybe after the fifth one, lean into. I can't come out, Mike Novogratz, do you think that your position in like, bro, I don't even know you. I have to do this interview. Like, you have to know where you are in the hierarchy. The richest man on earth, you don't have to answer anything. I get it, but from an interview and content perspective, I think he could have asked some better questions, especially with Neuralink, that probably would have led him to answer the Trump question later. But you know, it'll be fine. I'm concerned about Tesla stock, though. I really am.
How concerned?
I really think in terms of performance of car, I think that car BYD is way better. in terms of the stock, if it gets down to 180.13, that would be a great place to buy. But if it breaks to the 140s, 130s, it probably be the first time since I've been looking at Tesla that I would say that it's not a buy.
So let's talk BYD, because obviously the news came out that they were past Tesla in sales in China. You said it's a better car, not better company though, right? Just so we're clear. Or are you saying both?
No, I'm saying better car for right now. I haven't done enough for a year. No, you're not gonna get me.
I just want to make sure, because obviously the EV market, Tesla dominates. China's a big market that they want to obviously expand in, but there's other things that come with Tesla outside just the vehicles themselves.
I mean, even with that, but if we're gonna be honest, should Tesla have went from $23 to $414 in a year and a half?
We couldn't explain it then, and then it split twice.
Like, come on, like there's some engineering going on. I'll say that. Shotty, you want to run pistol 1-4 flat? What you want to do? It's like, come on, like I get it, and the allure of Elon, he's a multiplier in himself, but looking at the stats earlier, they've been in a drawdown. Stock's been dropping for 811 days. If you look, and then back to the used car thing, if you bought a car from Tesla that was $64,000 2 years ago, it is now worth $32,000. Soon Hove gonna be like, we won't drive Teslas, we give them to baby mamas.
Cybertrucks on the road. Cybertrucks hit the road. Superchargers are popping up. I know Rivian is now able to use the superchargers. I know Ford was already signed up. This is a market that they can actually see revenue in, obviously, as they try to figure out the pricing scale for some of their EVs. So is all bad for Tesla?
I would ask, what 3 bright spots do you see? I think they delivered the truck too late. The truck looks fire. Saw one yesterday. Amazing, right? But you can't be a luxury discount brand. I know I get shit for it all the time in terms of my pricing. The thing that they won't mention, net margin. Everyone who was competing against me selling $9 a month and stealing my picks, they're gone. Back working at Arby's. I would love a mocha shake, my boy. Okay. But you have to pick a very clear delineation. Are you going to be luxury? Are you going to innovate? But it's really hard. Like, I'm being honest, it's stressful for me to work on a presentation and present at InvestFest, let alone if I had to run it and Stock Club and a car company and a Neuralink company that can make Caesar from King of the Chimps talk. He got a lot of shit on his plate, yo. Like, I commend him for it. And the thing that's not, same with LeBron. Elon is too important to the American economy to lose. GM smacked, Ford smacked, like our automotive industry in shambles, Boeing in shambles. And if it wasn't for those government contracts that they end up getting every year, they would be in free fall right now. United, shambles, Spirit, caca, right? We have whole sectors, like even like, look at this from an investment standpoint. What's happened to biotech the last 2 years? Space is almost uninvestable.
Slow motion.
It's tough. Like, media floundering. And that's the crazy, because even with that, like, we should be the new faces of media, but there's politicking and positioning around that to put that glass ceiling that we got to break through. It's like, bro, like, come on. Shout to Casanat, shout to the creators of the cooking. But it's like, why doesn't Casanat have a show on NBC? Why don't we have a show on CBS? Or like, what? Like, going back to CNN, when I found, like, y'all getting Skip Bayless. Oh, talk about fumble of the decade.
Whoa. Woo.
You 50,000 views a show? Wrap it up, my boy. Spit it through Santo. Go ahead, lay down. Say 3 Hail Marys and call it a day.
Yeah, 90% decline in viewership.
We need dramatic innovation, but we need newer faces and newer ideas to come in and want to innovate.
It's true.
Get your tickets to InvestFest. I'm hoping it's in Houston. I really am. Oh my God. I'll go to the building every day. Yup. Stage looking good, sound good. Got you. And Kiati, what up?
We got some different, because you know that the story of InvestFest, I don't think has even really never been properly told of how many vendors actually won, how many people actually changed their life just from being in the building. You know, it's always about the celebrities, and that's important, but there's so much stuff. So we got a lot of things this year that is focused on impact as far as monetary wise for the average person, but also just, you know, creative experiences. You always got to stay, you got to constantly reinvent yourself. You can't do the same thing. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
It's important. All right. Let's stay in the car vibe. State of the automotive industry. You want to talk about a few automotive companies?
Yes, I'm not in love with almost any of them.
But you want me to shoot you a few?
Yeah, shoot them to me.
All right, man. Well, let's start with Ford. I talked about Ford. We talked about the charging that is going to be used by Tesla. Let's start there.
Ford, at $12.15 is a bargain value company. I like it at, if it gets to $3.18 or $5, I would potentially buy it. Any other price other than that, I don't like it. They were decent when Alan Mulally took over after the last recession, but Ford, I would not invest in long term. Another company that's also been affected greatly by inflation. Then if we go to GM's done a little bit better. It's at $42.55. I liked it if you got it at a price during 2020, like at $19 to $20. If it ever got back there, I would take a stab at it there.
How about Toyota, the number one selling car in America?
I'm going to hold steadfast to my theory that you should not invest in companies that have an engine in them. Toyota is at $23.78. The high was in 2007 at a 111. Has not recovered since then, and then it dropped dramatically during COVID. The one bright spot I do see is an auto parts maker, ticker PATK. Patrick Industries has been on fire. It looks like a tech chart. Too high to buy right now. It opened up this year at $100. Is at 114. You got to wait for it to pull back, but I will put PATK, Patrick Industries, on my watch list as well. So the automotive space, in terms of the cars I don't like, but Patrick Industries and AutoZone I do like as part makers and exposure to the auto space. And if the big boy Tesla's down, Ford and GM is going to be down. Like, we have to look like every car company now is a luxury car company. The new used car, I mean, the new cars that are coming out that are supposed to be like entry level are now $31,000, $35,000. There's no more $10,000 cars. No more 15. It's over with. Like, Dave Ramsey, you got to change your model for that part of your 7-step series. Like, there's no $5,000, $10,000 cars anymore.
There's no 15. Everything is 25, 24 and above. Like, even if you try to get like a Toyota Corolla, like a Honda Civic, these things are over 20 plus.
Pricey, yo.
Easy.
So
shout out to everybody that owns one.
Yeah.
What about Lucid? Everybody was big on Lucid during the pandemic. This is going to be the challenger. This is the EV. Look at how sexy they look. It's going to challenge Tesla. Hasn't worked out.
Has not worked out well. Hell of a decline from 64 there, $2.76. Anytime something is named the X killer, it's never the Jordan killer, the Kobe killer, the Iverson stuff. It never worked. You couldn't stop Mateen Cleaves. How are you stopping Kobe? Like, no. Like, Lucid, no. Ferrari may be a company that we haven't talked about enough. Ticker is Race. They're doing pretty good, but once again, high price point, high margin, high reinvestment. I think the automotive space overall is in danger, and I think we're going to end up losing that EV race to China overall. Better innovation, more people to buy it. We built their middle class and upper middle class. So